Yeah.
Okay, everyone, welcome. It is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. The time is 4:16 PM. And I call the Board of Estimate and Contract regular meeting into order. Clerk Bonilla, can you please call the roll?
Comptroller Morton,
Here.
Council President Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Here. Right.
Resolutions approving ordinances, Department of Public Works, Office of the Mayor, and ordinance authorizing the transfer of the title of DPW Deputy Commissioner Administrative to Chief of Infrastructure and Capital Improvements, amending the 2026 fiscal year budget and providing the funding and salary adjustment.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
So on the question, we got the funding sources, so that in there, right? So what's the is there a duration of time?
Well, I mean, no, it will last while the funding lasts, and we are still working through our deliverables. On February 20th, which I believe was a Friday, we had our most recent meeting with EFC, the Environmental Facilities Corporation, the Department of Environmental Conservation, DPW, Office of the Mayor, and Woodard and Curran, who is our newer water infrastructure contractor. And we are revising and updating our action plan in conjunction with the state. And it's just working through all of the different things that we have in the consent decree for the federal government, the consent decree that we have with the state, as well as fixing and repairing the system. The focus of this money, which was the original 150, of which we still have, I believe, about 128. It might be a little different because I think I just signed off on another payment request, but we still have about $128 million into year 4 of this funding. So the position is for the duration of the funding. And as long as we are doing the work of this funding, it oversees that. The focus of this funding is for the I don't know how to say this. We have to camera and run cameras through the wastewater pipes and the stormwater pipes. So we camera all of the system, 101 miles of stormwater, and the same for the sewer system. Then we clean, we camera, we identify where there's breaks, where there's been part of the system wiped away. We determine what can be relined, which is a simple relining process, what needs to be replaced. And we do those, and all of those have the aim of stopping any of the inflow and infiltration of sewage into the stormwater system and thus out to the Bronx and the Hutch Rivers. And so that is the purpose of this money. And that work is going to take a few years to do. Hopefully by having someone really focus on this work and leading it, we'll be able to move through all of the steps more quickly. And that was really one of the focuses of creating this position, so that it's not part of the job and it comes after plowing or garbage collection, but it is the job, because we want to make sure that we are spending the money, we're spending it efficiently, and that we're fixing and resolving the problems that exist in the first place. The money is also used as, it also allows us to resurface those streets that have been dug up to get to the stormwater and the sewer pipes. It's not just used for basic paving, but to restore those roads and streets that we've had to pull up to do the infrastructure work.
So EFC has committed to just duration, or was it, why did I think it was 3 years?
The MOU with the water department is for 3 years.
The water department.
The water department is through the New York State Department of Health. And what you're talking about, the MOU between DPW and,
And the water department for the percentage that the board of water will.
okay, yeah.
Towards the salary. In the MOU, they only go up to year 3 for their contribution.
And that money is coming, and that money for them is coming from their operating line or coming from another, let's see.
They're operating.
Okay.
And then the other conversation that we had on the 20th, but they were not in the room. We know that funding, we've applied for, and we're waiting to hear about funding for lead service line replacements as well. I believe we put in a $15 million application. And it makes sense as long as you are digging up the streets to also include that service work. Lead service lines are not the city lines. They are the lines that come from people's homes to the curb. But in order to make that connection from their home to where we start in the curb, there still has to be digging. So if we're doing work, it just makes sense to do those neighborhoods and allow, clean water, lead service lines, sanitary sewer and stormwater all be part of one massive project.
How is that part? Is that part gonna be, partnership with homeowners and city or?
Absolutely,
Okay.
because the so the city's lines are not, we don't have lead. We've replaced our lines years ago, but I would still say about 60 to 70%
Mhm.
of the service lines in Mount Vernon coming from a business to the curb where our water comes to them is. So the water that leaves the city's water source and goes to a place is clearly lead free, but once it hits a service line that has some lead in it, then there are traces of lead that can go in. We have not seen here in Mount Vernon any major high lead numbers from water supply, like our children are tested, standard for kindergarten and, when they're getting their physical. So we haven't seen any increase in lead poisoning in children, which is where you would really, really see it. But there's a desire to eliminate any potential.
Right.
And that's why we want to and the service line replacement is quite expensive.
Yeah, because I know that the homeowners, to get that replaced is in between like $6,000 and $8,000.
It's 20.
And and what, depending on how big your house is.
Got a long.
And that's just service line.
Yeah.
That doesn't include all of the lines that you might have in your house.
To replace
Right.
galvanized aluminum in my house, it's like 20,000.
So yeah, for the service line, I would say even now closer to $8,000 to $10,000. And that's why we're putting in for these grants, because we want to be able to subsidize that for the homeowners. If the homeowners are saying, look, I understand my service line contains lead and I want to replace it, but I don't have $10,000.
Yeah.
At least the grants will allow us to subsidize it, especially for those who are financially eligible.
Okay, so just as a follow-up, we need from water department, because I'm trying to understand this. I see where the 8%, 14,132, they're gonna transfer that from their 1490,101 for savings of a secretary has been done. But then the other 43,787 is saying transfer in to an inline of a water fund transfer. Where is the money coming from? What line in their adopted budget? Right? Is that specifically coming from? That's number one. Number two is that if they're defunding that, we also want to have to do a salary resolution for the position that they're defunding. Right? I mean, this is stuff can happen after, but that needs to be done because they're on the salary resolution. I'm assuming, I haven't looked at it, but that they funded the secretary position. They're defunding it now
They-
after that.
For Board of Water or for DPW?
Board of Water. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I'm wrong. That's DPW, okay. So that was, we defunded that.
Yeah.
So the Board of Water is the one that I need to just know where, because they had an adopted budget. Right?
82816.
8216 is a transfer in.
That's the money we're taking.
Right, so I get that, but I'm trying to figure out where, is it that in the adopted budget? Or are they just taking it from? That's all. Okay. And I'll say this, I think it's a good, I mean, it looks like it's a good idea to have somebody specifically in charge of this, because this is a major project. It has great benefits to the city, so I will say that, let me say that.
And the one thing that says you don't need money is not spending money in a timely fashion.
Yeah, well,
Right?
in this
We
world,
need
we
that
don't want them
money.
taking it back.
Right, we don't want them taking it back. We don't want them to say, like other organizations, that there's a timeliness. And then because these are environmental issues where there's like inflow and infiltration into the Bronx and the Hutchinson River, we don't want any of our neighboring communities to feel as if this is not a priority for us, because it can impact wildlife, it can impact, some of their boating and their businesses and things of that nature. So I want to make sure that we're moving at the right pace. And even as it includes to any type of backflow into our community, as well as our residents, homes. We want to resolve this. We're celebrating a 90 to 95% reduction in sewer backups into people's homes. But if we could get to 99.9 quicker, that would even be better, so. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye. Just for the record, I want to say that every position, competitive and not competitive, is always appropriately noticed and advertised for the time, for the minimum amount of time that it's supposed to be done. Every hiring, all the way going back to you being the chief of staff, controller, was done. We do panel interviews, right? Because you bring people who have different expertise around the table, different vantage points. So we've always paneled interviewed for first rounds, especially for high level positions. And then there is a second round of finalists. This is not an old system of cronyism or anything of that nature. So we have followed to the T. In this administration, I don't think we've had any findings from civil service, from the State Division of Civil Service, in years. I think the last time we had findings was during the time of the prior controller, and that didn't have to do with hiring. It just had to do with how people were or were not being paid. So we've had a very, very good civil service record during this administration, and so far as following rules, following protocols, and having our human resources division and our civil services office work together to make sure that the city stays in compliance. And that again reduces kind of inappropriate cronyism and things of that nature. We want to make sure that we're spending the money with the people who can do the job. So I just wanted to say that for the record.
Number 2, Fire Department, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept 2 Pierce Saber 1500 GPM fire pumpers funded through the HUD Community Development Block Grant Program and provided by the Urban Renewal Agency.
So move.
Second.
On the question?
Thank you, Urban Renewal Agency.
Amen. Again, for those who say the Urban Renewal Agency is a waste of money to the city, again, I think this is probably, we're pushing somewhere around $8 million that has been spent during this administration from the Urban Renewal Agency to help us secure fire equipment. because of the mission of the fire department, which is the protection of people and property. That is why it has a unique relationship, and they're able to receive funding directly from HUD for their operations or purchases like this. But these are very needed. Some of our pumpers are old, and we have one hopefully that will be rebuilding the engine on, but we wanted to make sure that we can show up to a fire with the ability to suppress the fire. And this gives us, and I'm going to tell you, the prices that we've gotten on these pumpers are very good. Because if you go to these meetings, the communities are paying upwards of $2 million and plus for single apparatuses, and we're getting two right now for 1.79. And that's because I think another community ordered them, they were built. And that community had to pull out and didn't have the ability to follow through because it takes over a year to order these, have them built for your specifications. So we were able to order these, I think, somewhere in about October or November because they met our specifications, and they will be delivered here March 9th if we approve this today. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 3, Board of Water Supply, an ordinance authorizing attendance of 2 Board of Water Supply employees at the 2026 Young Professional Summit in Charlotte, North Carolina.
So move.
Second.
On the question,
So we know which employees or what position that these individuals are in? Is this the lead team? Is this the order?
well, I believe these are the two young professionals whose positions we adjusted. Why am I forgetting their names right now? There's not a thing in there. Elizabeth, which would be one. And Elizabeth is getting her certification to be our backup superintendent. We have a physicist and a chemist that would be attending this, and I'm forgetting his first name right now. But they will both. One is within the lead service line program, and the other one is doing chemical testing, which is something that we desperately need as part of the consent work that we're doing. And they'll even be able to work more closely with Save the Sound that has a testing site. They've reached out and offered to work with us and having even more aggressive testing of our water service.
And how is this being paid? Is this, because didn't they get a grant or something?
They
For
do
this, but is this operating money or is this grant?
They have for the lead service line, they do have a grant. They have 4 million, they received 2 million, and then authorization of another 2 million. So yes, this is for backflow, which is what Elizabeth doing, and then lead service.
They have a budget code attached.
I see a budget code. Okay.
Roll call.
Comptroller Morton.
No, and I'll just qualify that, and it's not because I don't necessarily think that people should go. I'm just trying to really understand the full benefit of it. I just don't get it right now. So it's not that, but I do think that we do need to have people learning stuff. I just don't know.
So we were violated recently by the county and the state for the lack of an aggressive backflow prevention.
Gonna provide training for that or?
Yes, so that is part of the front letter. That is the part. So it's for the lead service line and for backflow prevention. Cover.
One behind.
And this is very important since we do have infiltration of the sewer lines, waste lines into the stormwater. And we know, why are people on the? What's that? Hmm?
Believe me, I'll fight me.
You know,
He's trying to fight me.
Yeah, there you go. So, we've had the flooding issues because we know the Hutch and the Bronx River, which is where all of our stormwater goes out to. Neither one of those bodies of water are sufficient for the region and definitely not for our sister system. So when we have any flooding issues, the water pushes back up into the system, right? And it comes back into businesses, it comes back into homes. And so the backflow prevention program and going in and doing all the inspections on the businesses and all the inspections on the homes to ensure that they have those backflow preventions in place was not something that was happening. And so the water department had to take on that program because backflow prevention falls under the water department. Even though it's not freshwater, it is still backflow prevention falls under them and lead service. So this is a larger and more recent addition to their responsibilities. So, but I know that's the no, so I just wanted to.
no, I appreciate that. That helps.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
For Department of Planning and Community Development, an ordinance authorizing the release of a request for proposals, RFP, for professional consulting services to prepare a comprehensive update to the City of Mount Vernon zoning ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, I mean, our planning department and city council completed and adopted the first comprehensive plan in 57 years. And that was just the first step. It's a plan. But the plan doesn't become a reality until we update and change the zoning ordinances. So the comprehensive plan is a framework for the zoning reordinance. And so now this is the second part of that process. The zoning reordinance will allow us to have clear ordinances and guidelines, because right now I think every single project that people want to do in the city of Mount Vernon has to come before the zoning board because the zoning ordinances are so incredibly outdated that it doesn't just stop residential, it even stops business development here in the city of Mount Vernon when it comes to requirements, setbacks, parking, and all of those things. So doing a new zoning ordinance is going to be very important. I want to give a shout out and congratulations to our grants team under the planning department because they did write for and they did receive a $250,000 grant that will go towards helping to cover this. I think we budgeted about 600,000 in the budget for the zoning ordinance, but we know it can be anywhere from 600 to $1 million. But we're not expecting to pay for it all in 1 year, but this $250,000 definitely will help the money go further and us not have to pay as much in year 2 out of the budget and budget for it. So we are excited about this process. Most communities, again, have done all of their rezoning. And I think those who are looking, businesses, commercial, industrial, residential, retail, who are looking to invest in Mount Vernon are definitely anxiously awaiting the rezoning of Mount Vernon. It takes away a lot of the back and forth around exceptions and variances and all of the soft costs that are associated with that process. People could spend millions of dollars before putting a shovel in the ground, just getting through the old zoning ordinances. So this investment will help to spur economic investment and revival here in the city of Mount Vernon.
So,
Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye, and there have been questions about RFPs. RFPs are not released for anyone to review until they are released to the community. You can't release an RFP for people to have pre-review and input because that can give other people an unfair advantage into applying for the RFP or sharing it with someone. So RFPs are not and never will be shared in advance. They will be issued because they have been properly developed, vetted, and will be issued. And people who are interested in looking at the RFP, whether they want to review it or whether they want to apply for it, can get it once it is released. And now that we've approved this, I believe this RFP will be released when?
I
Are we
have a date,
anticipating?
procurement management and is working with them to finalize it and put in the date, so it has to go through this first before they finalize the date.
Okay.
And then it'll be released, it'll be on OpenGov, also you can email him and he'll give you instructions on how to get it.
To get a copy.
Yes,
Right.
digital.
Right. I mean, again, we've been talking about doing things with policies, procedures, and processes,
Cannot release it.
and we cannot. Period. Okay, next. Okay.
Under austerity budget request, number 5, city clerk, a request authorizing the attached travel and training request form for senior account clerk and the office of the city clerk
No.
to attend the 2026 OpenGov conference for certification from April 26th through May 1st, 2026.
So move.
Second.
On the question?
So on the question, so let me try to lay out here exactly what's happening, because there's been some questions and you know, inquiries, especially to my office around the austerity budget and the travel and what the procedures are, right? And so we've laid out for the administration, for the council, for the departments, that there's a process for you to be able to submit travel requests underneath of this austerity budget framework. Purpose for actually doing this originally was to be able to pull together in one place all of the travel and training for twofold. One is to monitor costs, but two also is to be able to determine, right, the prioritization of that travel and that expense, right, in that. So the first step in that is for any department who is wishing to send someone to go to travel or training to submit that form, which is the form which is provided to the office of the comptroller for us to look at it. Now, when we're looking at it, we're reviewing it to make sure that it is fully complete and we have all of the information that is necessary. And then we also will circle back with the department and say there's something missing on this that we need you to submit it. We do not evaluate the actual request at that point in time, right? The signatures have to be from the employee and from the department head to ensure the department head has supported that. Then that shows up on this agenda, right? Because again, as a part of the austerity budget, the Board of Estimates is the one that now is going to actually approve on a review and approve that, which is why then there's actually no signatures that are on there from the mayor, myself, or the city council at this point, because it comes here first for us to make that determination on it. What I would like is just, but some of them have been good, but some of them still need to really give a little bit more detail as to, one, right? What is the urgency of this? And the benefit as it pertains to their job too, and so it may be some certifications and things of that sort. That helps us to really understand from a prioritization standpoint where something lies. We have limited funds to do that. We recognize that. So we want to make sure that we are being prudent about what we do and what we don't. There's also been some concern and communications again to my office about the fact that we should eliminate all travel. While that is that is an idea and a concept, it is not in the best interest of the city for us to eliminate complete travel, especially when there are laws, there are regulations, there are requirements, things that are changing rapidly. And yeah, while there are some opportunities for people to be able to go and to do that virtually, there is also other opportunity, other needs for folks not to do that, to actually to be in person, right? And of course, we have to evaluate that and make a decision based upon if we think that this is, if it's a experience, a training opportunity, a benefit to the city for someone to physically go as opposed to someone being able to do it actually online, right, on that. So, again, we also are working through this austerity budget framework because, again, it was created, it was then proposed and adopted prior to this fiscal year. We also were operating underneath the temporary spending, ordinance, which ended February 28th, February 28th. And so we are going to be meeting to also internally talk about how we can manage our way through this year. And my office is going to continue to do that and work with, of course, the mayor, the department heads, and also the council in doing that. And so I just want to kind of try to lay out what that process is, because I know that there has been some communication. I know I've received it. I've responded to some and some I've not responded to on it. So I am responding to it now, today, in an official meeting as to what that is as it pertains to the water department and the URA and the IDA. I have communicated that one, that the austerity budget was principally submitted for the city's general fund operation. Those entities operate underneath a separate budget. Those boards, those governing bodies, the council in the case of the water department, and the boards that govern both of those agencies can make a decision on how they wish to actually administer, right, the travel and expense or any other restricted items that may come before them. As the city comptroller, of course, I will use the same standard across the board, right? For me as in the review, because I believe that we just need to be looking at those things carefully, which I don't think that the mayor nor the council think differently. So just want to be able to articulate all of that out today. That's it.
Controller Morton?
This is we're
This
so
is
that
for
thought it-
Quan Open Gov certification.
Okay, yeah, but so now I do have a question specifically to this because I read it, right? And here's the other thing, right? I am actually the one who introduced OpenGov to the city when I was the chief of staff. That's when it began, right? At the direction when we were working, the mayor and looking to streamline stuff, right? It's part of my task as the chief of staff at the time. There's great benefit in OpenGov, right? And so, yeah, and we have been in it for a little while, and I do believe that we're not utilizing it to the full potential that we possibly can to make it easier for our constituents on that. And part of that problem has been because we have not had opportunity to really fully effectively train people to do that. So having looked at this, what I understand is, and I agree that Ms. Stevenson has actually advanced pretty well in the operation of OpenGov. And also has become kind of, in some cases, the go-to to try to do that. And so I just want to make sure that I'm clear about the intent. The intent is for her to be able to go to this training and be able to get certified to do this and be able to then come back and be able to also help the other departments and work with people in order for them to do it. So we avoid having to send 12 people, 10 people to go do something, send one to come back to train the others. Is that?
Yes, and that's what she's doing now. Recreation comes, DPW comes, they have certain intricacies and caveats in their application that it takes time for her to research to try to figure out how to do it. I know OpenGov can do a lot more than just her watching the videos and trying to train. So the whole purpose of this is to have her go there, get the certification to be a trainer and get tips, get connections, know who to email directly and, you know, build better applications.
It's like a train the trainers. So
It is a trainer.
we're driving a Lamborghini on a 35-mile-an-hour street right now, right?
Yes.
I mean, really,
We're not using it.
We're not-
what we're paying for.
No, I know, absolutely. I get it. I know that. And also as a IT person, right? In the first place I started, right? I recognize it, that not everything can be done through, virtual. So I get it. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I'm clear about what the deliverable will be, right? And the takeaway.
And hopefully, not hopefully, but when she gets back, we can kind of make our better training modules because they're a bit bland.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So, actually.
And humanize them a bit with somebody who works here, who knows the staff and could make better training videos, help better. So it is at the time of the conference, but she's going for the certification, not for the conference. So she's not staying if you would go, she's not doing all the days, just the certification day.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
hey, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 6, City Clerk, a request authorizing the attached travel and training request form for the City Clerk and Executive Administrative Assistant in the Office of the City Clerk to attend the NICOM Fall Training School from September 13th through September 18th, 2026.
So move.
Second.
On the question?
So is there a reason why we're doing this?
So I can get the block of the rooms. If you pay early, you pay less, and to get it out.
They've released this stuff?
They released not the hotels, but the fee, the cost, where it's gonna be. It's already out.
Okay. And this is the fall training,
This is fall.
which is the certification.
Yes, I'm doing my RMC.
September 13th to the 18th.
The other one, I'm doing my CMs.
And the reason for 2 people going?
Same as last year. We can't do all of the overlapping training courses. I'm not sure.
Almost need 3 or 4.
I
Honestly.
We were running through different rooms. We brought a lot of stuff back. We try to get as much as material as possible. We're still giving out information. We gave information to the law department. Mrs. Joshua was in a class for local law. She was the only non-lawyer in that class while I did a clerk panel. So it's just not enough to attend all of the.
It is
At one.
your training event for the year and the course offerings are extensive. And when you go to these events, oftentimes you really do need 3 or 4 people. And, far too often when I go to these trainings or they go, or it would be Councilwoman Brown that would go, you go, but you don't have enough people to cover everything that you need to get and all of the
It's
other
also a
things.
bit exhausting. You try to do it.
Huh?
Like even she was with me last year and I was still exhausted trying to
Mhm.
keep.
No, I mean, there's a lot that happens at a training.
We missed a lot of stuff too.
I end up
With
going to
3
that
at the same.
training I end up going to that training as well. Now I have to go every year because I'm a board member of the
Yeah.
New York State Finance Officers Society. You know, but like last year I went and I didn't charge the city to travel. I drove and I paid the cost, right, for it. I get it. But I do realize that one in particular is specifically for clerk offices and finance.
That one, yes.
That one is what it is, and with all of the changes, I get it. So, okay, I just.
And we appreciate the clerk's office coming back and turning key in the information.
Thank you. We do. We made a SharePoint. We put all the PDFs that we collected. We put that in share with the, with all the departments. We give a lot to Ms. Gina and the FOIL. We got a lot of stuff for her as well. We gave some stuff to assistant, what is his title? Assistant Mr. Bailey, him coming on new. We gave him a lot of stuff as well. We'll be carpooling.
Roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 7. City Clerk, a resolution authorizing payment for the attached travel and training request form for the city clerk to attend the 2026 Summer IIMC Municipal Clerks Education Program from July 13th through the 16th, 2020.
So move.
Second.
On the question,
Mm,
on the question, you are working on your clerk certification, correct?
Yes, my certified municipal clerk certification and my registered municipal clerk certificate.
When is the last time a sitting clerk had those certifications in the city of Mount Vernon?
It was Lisa Copeland.
When at least it's been gone for about
20 something.
probably at least 10 to 15
Years.
years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's one of the problems, right? Because we didn't have a registered municipal clerk, we didn't have a certified municipal clerk, we weren't going to get training. We missed so many of the state updates. And so some of the things that we've done here have been done improperly because we didn't know that they were changed. There is value. There is value with the clerk being the keeper of the records for the city.
Of every board.
And every board,
Um,
I did receive $400 scholarship already for this. I'm expected to get another $500 scholarship. So that should cover most of everything. It would just be travel just to get there.
Mhm.
Mileage, and I'll go local, so I don't pay any tolls, but.
It speaks to the necessity of in-person training.
money for tolls.
Thank you.
Not out of the city budget.
Okay.
If we got a quiver over tolls,
I give you $3.
Thank you so much.
situation than we ever believe.
So it should be funded. I'm waiting for that. I'll find out that decision from the other membership that I'm a part of. But it's probably gonna be a yes. I write very good letters of necessity and all that. So hopefully I can come back and say it'll just travel and be fully funded. Last year I got a full scholarship.
And again, it helps us to know how to do it proper so we don't have to go back and do it again.
Correct.
As we've seen recently, having to go back
In a minute.
and resubmit things and re-legislate and re-public hear things that were not done properly.
I will say it was shocking my first year I went.
And thank you for taking the initiative to level up.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I gotta be honest, I'm conflicted.
Go ahead.
And it has nothing to do with because I'm conflicted because I see the benefit and I understand it and I understand the certifications, right, in the way that we need to have the clerk certified and get all of this stuff done. If Mount Vernon's gonna do better, we gotta do that. I'm trying to balance that with my fiscal responsibility hat, right, on trying to make sure that we stretch out as limited amount of the resources that we do have this year to allow people to actually get this kind of get this kind of training right on it.
Mhm.
And so I just want to be, I just gotta be able to say that, right? On it because I see the value. And then also there's some added stuff here, right? Which is that you're getting scholarships or grants or something to help to support it. And so it minimizes, it lowers the cost for us than normally we do it, and but yet gives us kind of this benefit of actually having someone to go and get the training and to be certified to do it, right, on it. So that's about just my conflict here, because God knows, you've done an outstanding job at really, moving the office to a place, right, that it has not been. And and I see that, so I want to say that.
And that takes away from no one else, right?
No, I'm not,
But
I'm not
it does
saying it,
speak
right.
to, right, no, but I'm
Right.
just saying that because, people look at these meetings and they comb the meetings for offenses, right? People now have some spirit of offense. But to give you a compliment doesn't take away, but, at the same time, if we weren't participating in things, just like we weren't going to building permit and ordinance trainings and inspector trainings, we were operating in error, which caused our building department to be the second worst in the state, right? And we continue to play catch up. And in order to make this city operate more efficiently, we have to be fiscally responsible. But we have to invest to make sure that we have the right training so the staff has the tools to do it more quickly and correctly the first time.
And the good thing is this whole total cost is $1,450, but you have 900 already in scholarship.
Yes.
And so we're looking at 550 to raise, and you possibly get that as well.
So I can get yes, there's other scholarships that I've approved for, but I got like a tentative yes for these two. So I'm still actively trying to get it funded as much as I can. And if I can, I have an electric car, I'll run an extension cord and eat the mileage. But if I'll charge my car from my room. I mean, last year, I got the full scholarship and I absorbed the cost of the travel. So I'm willing to do that again. I just really want to go.
And clearly not because it's a vacation.
It's not, it's actually,
It's not.
13-hour days. It's from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, Sunday. It's accelerated. So
And including a Sunday, a day.
it's Sunday. So I drive there and then start. So I have to get there by 8 and then you start. That's your first. It's 9 o'clock in every day. You eat in that room, you do everything in that room. It's just back to back to back.
Oh, you got it. I don't know. Okay. You gonna do roll call?
Yes.
Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye. I'm holding the next request.
Okay,
That was the legislation for the laser fish.
all righty.
Okay, what you doing there?
I said that before our meeting.
I know.
Well, I appreciate the support. Thank you so much.
Just know, I mean, just know, so if my calculations are right, we have allocated, I'm not gonna say spent because some of those things are gonna come back underneath of what it is that's allocated, but we have allocated roughly about $20,000 of the 60.
Mhm.
So just keep that in mind.
Well, and like her training, one of the training, the school is all the way in September, so.
It's in September and then I put that amount in there, but that's gonna change once.
And does some of that include the youth bureau also?
Well, we know.
Okay.
We don't count the youth bureau in, because we don't count the youth
Grants?
bureau in this because it doesn't come out of here. I'm only counting what's in the actual travel budget in this line,
Okay.
right? In here, right? Here. So, yeah, just keep that in mind.
We're gonna move on.
Number
9.
8 is held.
8 is, yeah, she held 8, so we're gonna go on to number 9. The partial payment for the Department of Public Works, number 9, Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing partial payment number 4 to New Vista Designs General Contractors LLC for emergency roof repairs at the police department and courts.
So
Second,
Question?
this is The ban.
Yes,
Hmm?
The ban.
and this just authorizes the fourth payment. So this was a project that was approved already, and each payment we approve as it goes out.
Final payment.
Amount of 178,250.
Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 10. A Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing partial payment number 4 to Instaform Technologies LLC for year 2 of sewer cleaning and inspection project.
So moved.
Second,
On the question?
what's the time frame for the reimbursement?
This is through the HUD grant, so this is closer to a 3-month reimbursement timeframe. The HUD portion of the
Yeah, this is the cleaning.
Mhm.
so they're a slower turnaround than the EFC and WQIP portions.
Okay, listen, make sure we mark it on the cash flow document.
Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 11. Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing partial payment number 5 to Instaform Technologies LLC for year 2 of sewer cleaning and inspection project.
So moved.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
aye.
Comptroller Morton says,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 12, salary resolutions. 12, salary resolution number 1, minimum maximum for the Chief of Infrastructure and Capital Improvements.
So moved.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
13, salary resolution number 4, all positions for the Chief of Infrastructure and Capital Improvements.
So moved.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 14, salary resolution number 1, minimum maximum for the position of Senior Communications Associate.
So moved.
Second,
On the question?
is this a new?
Which one is that?
This one is on page 82.
It is, the amended one for the Communications Associate. It's doing senior.
They did.
comms.
They did a new job spec.
Yes, they
Or
expanded it because we defunded, we
defunded
eliminated the website coordinator and social media and some of the other things, and those responsibilities have been added. And initially,
That was part of the, right, that's part of.
that was part of the
the
restructuring.
restructuring
Mhm.
of it. Got it.
So I think we saved like 60 something plus benefits or even more in those other positions. And this is just a bump to bring that position forward.
Okay.
Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Amended tax settlement resolutions, number 15, amended resolution for tax settlement for Westchester Plaza owner LLC. 111 Third Avenue, $74,880.73, now 74. Oh, the correction is, which one is the correction?
Needed.
Right, okay, deleting $74,306.70.
So moved.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Can we please bond for what is that, reassessment?
Yeah.
We gotta find, because we're losing $2 million a year. It's without fail. Until we stop the bleed, we're gonna bleed out. Okay,
No.
anything else? That's the end of the agenda?
Yes.
Just, new business, I want to give a congratulations to our very own, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson, was, recognized today. It was released today by City and State. They did a 20-year trailblazer list for trailblazers in law, and so he has been recognized. It says New York Legal Eagles making a difference. And he has been recognized for his leadership in leading our law department, whether it is the internal work or finding the right partners externally to also do things that municipal division. Oh, look at it.
Welcome, Trailblazer.
Record right now.
Yeah.
Congratulations for you
Thank you.
being named. We in the times you want.
Thank you.
So. I have not had a chance to, I've not had a chance to go through the entire list where there are many municipal lawyers.
I haven't.
Okay, you haven't had, because it's just that new, but I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged your work, and I know you've been acknowledged for finances, and I've been acknowledged as a mayor, and we're Mount Vernon is doing well. We have others that have gotten 40 under 40s and wonderkins, right? So our team is being acknowledged while we have our challenges. We do not use scarcity and we do not use challenges as an excuse to give up. We just find innovative new solutions to continue to press forward. And so I thank you for your fortitude
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor.
and the service of your team.
Thank you. I appreciate you. It's funny, they wrote that article, they redid everything that I wrote. And they talked about that cotillion. I had forgotten about that. Are we still on that?
Yes.
Still on the record.
So, okay, is there anything else? Any
So-
updates on audits? I know we had to go and kind of readjust something on one of them, so.
Yeah, 2021, it actually should be released in the next week, or two, latest two, but next week, on that. And then 2022 has already been underway. Water Department's 2021 is already complete. They're doing 2022 now, for the Water Department. And so then for the city and for URA, we have just started. They should be planning for the field work on 2022 for both of those. IDA is up to date. They're underway for 2025 audits. And we are beginning to catch up also with URA with the parish reports. Those need to be caught up as well. So that's kind of where we are with the audits itself. The other thing is just because this year we're closely monitoring this overtime. Just note the following departments or areas are right now 35% or more spent. And they should be at this point just around about 16. Some of this is of course related to the snow, especially in areas of DPW and the and recreation, and then even the fire department had to go around and clear some stuff. Even some of the stuff they had to do, they also had some fire stuff. But we need to make sure, we're going to drill down further on this to find out exactly what it is. Hopefully some of this also will be reimbursed through FEMA, because if it's related to the emergencies time. But the police department, the fire department, the Dole Center, and then under DPW, the areas that are right now have to be closely watched are the motor vehicle, highway maintenance, street lights, parking, sewer, sanitation, and street cleaning. Right? Those just need to kind of be watched. Now, again, I'll say some of it is related, of course, to the Mr. Winter who decided that he didn't have a girlfriend.
Oh, my
He wanted to
goodness.
come out and deal with, and deal with us. So, we are going to, we're gonna have more information for you for that next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
And, you know, just also for some of the storm cleanup, you know, and like you said, we haven't seen old man Winter this way in a long time. And as we have tried to rebuild fleet in Mount Vernon, we prioritized garbage trucks, and street sweepers and pothole fillers over snow vehicles, right? Because you hadn't seen snow like this in 10, 15 years. So we made some decisions. And some of those decisions, you know, you have to make the harder decisions. We use garbage trucks and street sweepers every day, and so that's what we invested at a more of a priority level. So, you know, when we are in a situation to have a little more wiggle room, we'll lean more intently uh, into snow removal equipment. And then the other thing is when we were replacing our garbage trucks, we were replacing them in crisis and in the midst of COVID, right? And in replacing them with limited monies. If we had the level of money we wanted to have, we would have gotten different trucks, which would allow them, our garbage trucks are not, don't have the capacity to double the snowplows. They don't. You know, as you buy some of this newer equipment, your newer car can't maneuver the way your old, you know, deuce and a quarter did back in the day. It was heavier, it was made different, and it lasted different. A lot of the things now have these newfangled electric things, bells and whistles, which are designed to break and not last as long, right? And so years ago, we had the benefit of our sanitation trucks being able to put a plow on the front of them and move. Now, if we want those sanitation trucks, those are going to cost us a few $100,000 more each because they're going to have a different amount of horsepower and some different functionality. Our current trucks don't have that. So, you know, those are the big trucks that really hit your things differently, hit your emergency snow routes differently. And so the trucks that we're using for snow are trucks that we don't use for garbage pickup. It's a different challenge. And clearly buying snow melting machines for anywhere between $1 and $3 million, and you don't know if it's going to snow more than once every 5 years at any major rate. That's another thing. And then the last thing I'll say, you know, we had conversation with the county and Beeline, and we had conversation with the MTA, right? Because we, unlike any other municipality in our region, have 3 Metro North stations. And, you know, we have to be very clear as to who does what, who is responsible for what. Because people who own property are responsible for their property and generally the sidewalks of their property and the spaces around it. Beeline, at the same token, has a lot of bus stops in Mount Vernon. And there are 2 types of bus stops. There are the standard poles, right? And then there are the shelters where you have a bench and something covering it. Most of Prospect is shelters, right? Those are shelter bus stops. And so Beeline is responsible for moving that snow. So when people complained and talked about Prospect Avenue not being done, that's really Beeline's responsibility. Beeline had their own complications. We contacted them. Then we went out and we took care of that area because at the end of the day, it is our community, it's our residents, and we want to make sure that they have the ability to get away around the way that they need to get around. And we're having that same conversation with Metro North to make sure that maybe we might have to re-update some MOUs so we understand how this is done. It's a conversation that may not have been had in a very long time because we haven't found ourselves in this situation. But now that we're out of the crisis, this is the perfect time to understand the distribution of responsibilities so that we know what we have to do and what we have to hold our partners in government responsible for. And so we will do those things. But thank you everyone for working through Snowmageddon and ice tundra. All in a month period. We appreciate it. And yes, we are hoping that FEMA does something to help reimburse all of us around those different overtime costs in DPW, especially, and some in fire, to address those kind of snow incidents. Anything else new? New?
Nope.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second,
Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
aye.
Council President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Passy Howard.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at